Mic check 1 2 1 2. On the 17th of November, we had a very historic meeting. In this particular meeting, we had our very first CC10 speech by Kelly Solo and brilliant accompanying speeches by Sylvia Jebet and Karaoke Kimani. On the day that followed, we recorded this episode where we did a review of the meeting and talked about various topics such as bullying, colonialism, African kingdoms, Rasputin, and everything in between. We are going to be talking into your ear for the next 1 hour, so sit down, listen, and enjoy. Brothers and sisters, I have none, but this man's father is my father's son. Who is this man to me? Brothers and sisters, I have none, but this man's father is my father's son. Who is this man? Who is this man to me?
Is he not me? Is he not?
It's not you.
It's not me.
This man's father,
But he doesn't have brothers.
is your father's son. But you have no brother or sister.
Think about it.
But this man's father, not this man, this man's father is your father's son. So who is this man to you?
My son.
It's your son. Okay, you're too smart.
Wow.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. See, brothers and sisters, I have none, but this man's father is my father's son. My father's son, but I have no brothers or sisters, so it's me.
It's rewind. Have you seen that video? Yeah. I'm my grandfather's son.
Hey,
I'll show you.
It's not TikTok.
No. It was just something that was shared to me on WhatsApp a while ago. Yeah.
you're your grandfather's son. How is
Yeah.
that possible?
I'll show you.
You'll show me
I'll
later.
show you.
So today I'm joined by three other hosts. Sorry. The first one is Mr. Nani and he's going to introduce
But
himself.
who are you?
Who am I? Oh, my name is Tinega Okari and you're listening to the Gavel Jkuat podcast. The first guest, please introduce yourself, Mr. Nani.
My name is Raphael Ndonga. I am the VPM of Toastmasters.
Hey.
What?
That's right.
They have to know. And I'm glad to be here.
The next guest.
Hi guys,
Hello.
my name is Robinson Muhota. Preferably you could refer to me as Ted. And I am merely a member, just an average local.
A local man.
A local
You said
man.
Robinson.
Yes.
So Teddy, you talk about.
Mnafaa kuelewa. You guys are supposed to understand
See,
the
your name
difference
is
between
Ted.
government names and nicknames.
Oh.
My government names are Robinson Muhota, but that's not what I refer to myself as.
Someone, have you
Yeah,
seen
there's a story behind the one. Ted.
You'll tell us later.
Robinson.
And the final.
Frederick.
Frederick. The final host.
I'm not a guest.
Yeah, this one is not a guest,
I'm not a guest.
but he's a host.
Co-host.
Probably I can find him by his voice.
Define it, yeah.
Yeah, my name is Raymond Wameyo. Yeah.
Popularly known as Rochi
No one
99.
calls me Ray. Please, I beg you. Don't call me Ray.
Charles.
More Roach.
Ray Charles.
Ray Charles, yeah.
Don't earn a coke.
Eh?
Moving on swiftly.
Moving very fast, without looking back. What is our agenda today? What do we have? Fungwaro. It has been a while since we recorded a podcast. Where have we been?
Where
What
have
have we been doing?
Wow.
Let's talk about
It's been 2 or 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3?
Then we had recorded a podcast with like in Jerome, tunawapenda sana Jerome, Heather, Rona, Mawia, and who else? And Raphael here.
I was,
But the audio kidogo refused. Audio iliharibika.
technical issues.
Very technical. Very technical. That unavoidable circumstances, some we call them. So we are going to record this one.
Whatever. How are we going to
Whatever.
ensure that you don't make the same mistakes?
The same mistakes. What I realized is the last recording, there were like 7 people
So
in a single session. So the number from now on will be 4.
Maximum 4. If
That's-
you go too much 5,
That's workable.
that works.
Oh yeah.
During one of our best episodes, the last one, Unpopular Opinions, that for
I miss Mawia.
Mawia.
Miss Mawia.
Mawia uko wapi?
She's barely been gone.
Now today we are only
Mawia, I miss you.
Mawia?
I miss you.
Who is Mawia?
Mawia Faith. You don't know Mawia, how dare you? The audacity. Mawia.
Karibu kusema 1.1 but
You just decided to generalize us all into a number. 1.1.
Msema cost is just a number. The year is just a number. The year you are in.
no,
For years and years doesn't
you've not
matter.
been around long enough
To know Mawia.
To know Mawia.
I think to yeah, exactly.
Okay.
No hard feelings.
Lead with that. Lead with that.
But have you ever felt bad because someone called you a fresher because they don't see
I've never been
when you are a fresher?
Yeah.
Still in that. Still
But
in that
is
period.
fresher
Still in
a
that
slang?
period, but,
Yeah, are you in, like
But
are you
the-
insulted when you're
Ted is a freshman.
No, I haven't been insulted or jeered at just because I am in 1.1.
But
I
then
have not
in uni,
yet
no one has the time to
experienced
bully you.
that.
No
Who
one
has the time for that? Hey,
high school it was
High school,
rough.
you're a mono.
They had all the time in the world. They had nothing else to try.
it got worse when the actual administration decided to join in on the fun.
On the bully.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
weirdest thing is that you are suffering is someone else's enjoyment. That's so weird. That's so twisted.
It's so twisted.
Actually,
Have you ever been bullied by
it's
them?
not
Let's
twisted,
have facts.
that's the norm. That's the normal human
It should be-
condition.
condition.
Because look, okay. First of all, why do people enjoy wrestling?
I like seeing people meeting.
Exactly. Exactly. Why do people enjoy? Imagine if football.
So we have a
Like,
thing. We have a thing for the macabre.
You have a thing for conflict.
For
for
conflict.
especially
No, I
men.
think for wars.
Especially men, testosterone. You see, girls they don't enjoy sports half as much as guys because they don't enjoy seeing.
Hey, you're trending on.
Depending on
That's a very thin line.
Do you want to test with a single foot or two?
It's a very thin line. Very thin.
but
But-
it's there.
But it is it's
I
fun.
understand in high school everyone was bullied.
To some extent. Yes.
Bullied. Were you bullied, Raphael?
Terribly bullied.
What can you remember?
Anyway, as in,
Tell us one memory. Take us back and pack the trauma.
This guy's getting
Open up
flashbacks.
your heart.
Getting flashbacks.
this might not actually be funny. It might end up being a sad
Sad, very
story.
sad story.
Yeah, mwanza kunirumia
Kwani what happened? No, I want to know what happened.
The good thing is you can always edit this. So the good thing about this podcast is that you can always edit the part that
Let's go too far.
that go too far. So
You did not edit them.
He did not, in fact, edit out the
in high school,
Uh-huh.
high school actually it was weird because the Form 4s who actually bullied us, they were okay. It was bullying in the fun sense, like they just.
Who was enjoying? Which
Yes.
was fun. Who was enjoying the
But
bully?
as in, it was kind of funny in a sense. Okay, can't explain it, but the overall vibe, being bullied by Form 4s, wasn't at
Life or death.
ati kula nyasi. It was something different. I don't know if I can explain. Exactly, it was banter.
Banter.
Like they just see you walking and then they hold you. And then they like start making fun of you.
But teenagers,
And then,
teenagers are ruthless.
Yeah.
Teenagers are ruthless.
Okay, but it was funny. Now the physical bullying, as in the like when
Violence.
someone's hitting you.
The violent.
Yeah, the violent one. Actually, the bad one. I was actually bullied by my fellow Form 1. Can you believe that? Guys, no, for real. As in, it was shocking. As in, I was like, yo, is this
But
really
there wasn't
happening? And you're
anything-
stronger? No, all you have to be stronger than you.
But there wasn't any extreme stuff like ikula nyasi, as you said.
No. It wasn't
Ati-
like nyasi, but it was more violence, like
Physical violence.
yeah, like on the streets.
Like,
Like,
umesafa.
okay, not on the streets, but like you're just minding your own business, and then this is a weak target, easy target. Okay, he comes.
But I think it was the freedom that comes with being a senior. Even me when I was in Form 4, I could say I bullied some people. I could say I bullied them, but I didn't. But, Ted, were you bullied?
Yeah, to some extent. But I want to say most of my first day experience was a smooth ride. Why? Because naturally, I just find myself in the right crowds. I just make friends easily, and most of those friends ended up being senior students.
So you had friends in high places.
I had friends in high places, so I had the protection I needed at certain.
Untouchable.
But this is the thing. I never generally had problems with people in their third form or fourth form. From Tuesday, that was another story. We hated each other. We generally just hated each other. We had bad blood.
Wameyo, were you bullied or did you bully?
I don't think I can say I was bullied.
Look at the man. He's basically in this type of whatever.
No, it's not that. Just generally, there wasn't any bullying in Strathmore because it was a day school.
Oh, by the way.
Naturally. So where would you find time to start bullying? There was a tradition though called Belt Friday.
Belt Friday.
Yes.
What happened?
So on the last Friday before they go for their study break.
Let's talk about weird traditions.
Yeah. On the last Friday before they go for their study break to do the KCC exams, basically anything goes because at that point you can't be expelled. It's literally the last
week
day of the normal school calendar. Yeah. So even if you're suspended, you just go home, come do the exam, go back home.
Check.
Right? Yeah. So I missed hours. Because it's the one day now from 4 at break time, lunchtime, and sports time in the evening would chase Form 1s around beds. and then whip them, you'd be whipped. So when I was in Form 1, I used to come to school on that day. But I do distinctly remember in Form 4.
You chased someone.
Form 1s around, I can't lie. But I did
Form 1 boys and girls.
Boys.
Boys. No gender-based violence.
It was a boys' school.
As well, we had a weird tradition in our school. Kapsabet boys at Nini. When we were freshers, Form 1s, the first week you were told that there is a beast, an animal in the tea farm. It was a school compound and then surrounded by a tea farm. Okay. That there is a beast in the tea farm that comes out at night and bites Form 1s and eats Form 1s. Form 1, it knows Form 1.
And the gullible Form 1.
So they give it a name. It was Chemusud. And it's half beast, half man. It has claws and teeth. Like what? Hey, by the time you're going to sleep at night, you know.
This is something.
It might be the last time I see this. But you wait the first week. No, I'm yet to be beaten by an animal at night, so you say it doesn't exist. A weird tradition, Raphael.
I can say we had some variation of the Belt Friday because after a certain point in Form 4, like when the exams are about to begin, you're basically invincible. Because if you can't expel them, they're already registered. So if let's say you expel them, they'll have to come to the exams. You can't prevent them from doing. So like a week before the exams, there was a variation of Belt Friday, but it was on a Saturday. But we didn't really care much about whipping Form 1s, but we were hungry.
For what?
Hungry for blood.
Like on Saturdays, we only ate meat once a week. And we had planned that Saturday all week. We knew on Saturdays
no Form 1
is eating meat. We would camp on, it was a table system, so there was a place they camp for the bowls. We would camp in the places where they're serving bowls, and then we would find a way to grab the meat from there, and we knew nothing would happen. Okay, let me stop saying we. Let me say you are they. So,
Yani, you're a thief too.
because on Friday, something funny actually happened. My mom came for me and sort of negotiated with the principal to let me go. To let me go home for a bit. Okay, Ushago, it was Nyeri, for a bit, and then I come back on Monday. Our school was that free, and the principal said, okay, you can go. It was that free. So I went. I missed Belt Saturday. Okay, heist. I missed the heist on Saturday.
Saturday.
Exactly. So I came back on Monday. Now, when I'm arriving at the school, things look a bit different. I see the Form 4 classes are sort of locked. So I'm asking my friends, no, the Form 1s that are around, yo, what's going on? And then they ask me, what are you doing here? I'm like, what do you mean? I've come to school. I'm literally. So the Form 1s are asking me, so what are you doing? What are you doing in school? I'm like, what do you mean? CC10 is 1 week from now. Come to study.
Until you've arrived in school, the Form 4 classes are
Unlocked. So
what had happened was
I asked them what happened, and then now they vividly start describing the heist I was describing earlier. The Form 4s thought they were invincible. They literally ensured the Form 1s didn't eat supper that day, and on that very day, no, actually on the following day was a Sunday. They were all suspended. They literally came back to do the exams, and I was the only one in school.
Everyone in that class has a record except you.
Yes.
Everyone with prefects, president, still.
Okay, I don't know if they put it on record, but they were suspended for sure. Like literally the whole school.
But
so
high school
so
can
for a
make
week,
you-
for
can
a
make
week
you a
before
thief.
KCSE, I was alone with Form 3s, Form 2s, Form 1s.
Doing what?
Why?
I didn't go home.
You did
now.
come.
I didn't see I'm in school.
You
so
did come.
Yeah. No, I didn't.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's
so
the weirdest tradition.
I wouldn't call it a tradition.
It happened once, and once alone.
Yeah. Because it didn't happen
What
again.
about you, Ted?
Well,
Ted is the one most recently went to high school.
yes, most recently happened.
Fresh off the boat.
Generally, our year didn't have as much freedom to operate with other forms as much as we would have wanted to. We are more or less the self-kept class. Yeah, they kept praising how great of a class we are, but that was all
Mambo
redacted. That was all redacted. Yeah, but generally, to the end of the year, more or less, when you are all alone in school, let's just say that focus that you would have called Belt Friday turned into, well, a system, a carnivorous system. We definitely did it to ourselves. We didn't inflict the same pain to people outside because we were the only ones in school. That makes sense. So yes, truly began. Sisi truly began. Yeah. But other than that, for us, let's just say bullying was prejudicial in a sense. It didn't happen in big moments. It happened in small moments where
packets.
they could get away with it. Things like, we did have table breakfast. So things were always set out more or less 10 or 15 minutes before you guys came in.
It appears
And
food,
at
food
this
was
point,
the-
food
was
is-
the-
food
was the contending point. Food is vital.
And at this point, Wednesdays were very special days.
Because of what?
Because we had smokies in the morning. We did.
Then you
They were
spend
packed.
a whole week waiting for us.
Yeah, that was
The little
Wednesday. So little things that count. So you guys will not, of course, as Form 1s or probably even 2s, be in the dining hall as early as those times. As early as, like, what time do we used to go? About 5 food something. Around
Imagine used to eat supper at 5.
I eat my supper at 5.
Even nowadays.
Now
That's
I
still
eat myself.
So you have to
What time
stay.
It's supposed to be like at 16.
Midnight.
What?
So from 5 until the next 5 in the morning or 6 or breakfast. No.
How do you run? Do you run on water or coffee? What are you running
Water.
on?
Is it the will to live?
The will to
Sheer will.
The will to
Yeah. Hey, to me, if I eat at 5, I will wake up in the middle of the night starving.
Jesus, man. I don't know. I'm used to it. Well,
Maybe that's the secret
it's
to
always
becoming
like
tall.
Food is important.
Oh yeah. There's this thing about metabolism. Okay, when you're small, you have a small surface area, so you're hungry. No, you have.
In biology.
You have a small surface area.
What is this pseudoscience?
Surface area to volume ratio.
I dropped
Of energy
energy.
sciences.
Definitely do expend more energy.
It's called surface area to volume ratio.
Exactly, surface area to
To volume ratio. It's high when you're smaller, so food is digested very quickly in your system.
Yeah, so you get hungry. Now when you're
You
bigger,
do also end up spending
too much and giving out more heat.
Yeah.
So
Nerds.
thinner people are hotter. In some sense.
intellectual.
Intellectual of the 21st century.
Please.
Nerds.
Please.
Let's talk about yesterday's meeting.
Okay.
We had the very first CC10 in our club. That's a very big deal.
That's
Fantastic.
actually
We had some of the best speakers we have in the club, apart from me and Raphael and Raymond and Ted. Some other very good speakers, namely Sylvia. We love Sylvia, she's a natural. Jerome, very informative, very funny. And Solo, well
big
done.
man.
Very big achievement, setting the bar and an example for all of us to follow. In attendance was Jared, our counselor. Also, we had also Tobias, our patron.
Patron.
Whatever, Jibba Jabba, potato tomato.
Tobias is the guy who talks at the end.
Jared
Nah.
Oko.
Jared Oko,
He made it very clear that certain things should be spelled
certain ways, pronounced
Yes,
certain ways.
yes, pronunciation.
He said not
Evaluate.
evaluate.
Not.
And there is no such thing as TMO.
TMO.
What is TMO?
So, Raphael, what is 3 p.m.?
Vice
Do
President
tell us.
in charge of membership.
Do tell us.
Yeah, vice president membership.
Basically,
He also said another word that actually bugs me when I hear.
here.
Adhia. But Adhia.
It's not
more
Adhia,
Kiswahili.
it's Adhia.
Kiswahili.
Adhia.
There's
Doloma. Doloma is DH, so you just assume DH.
It's heavy.
The, but it's not.
So
In
it's-
English, there's no the with
There's
DH.
no that. There's no
When you see
nya.
DH in English, it's always the.
There's no even nya. That's how it's nya. Kenya, not Kenya. Kenya.
Oh. What about lasagna?
Kanye.
Lasagna.
Lasagna. I don't know.
Cognac. Yeah,
Cognac.
GN.
Konyagi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Konyagi. Kinywaji tamu kutoka
And we shall
Tanganyika.
redact that statement.
Redact. No promo, no free promo.
This video is this podcast is sponsored by.
Go to you,
That would be great.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
No.
But there has to be someone in the team supporting.
They're funding our equipment.
We need
If they do that-
equipment by the
Yeah.
But then again, there always has to be one person always advocating for no and low. And clearly it's not any of you three.
For?
No and low.
No and low.
and
What is that?
alcoholic drinks. So no and low alcoholic
Okay.
drinks.
No alcoholic drinks and low alcoholic drinks.
Yes.
No and low. N and
Things
L.
like malts. Malts do tend to have a
But
significant
then I used to drink malt in
amount.
high school and then I think
They do have
after
some-
drinking malt, I go
Yes.
as if you're suffering. I'm an alcoholic. You say you've drunk malt.
See where these habits came from.
They have
You're
some-
seeing-
Hey, we never
Habits
drunk.
came from.
Ew, what is alcohol? Do you drink? Who does that? You drink Raymond?
Yes, I do.
For water.
Clearly
On the
lying.
low.
Eh?
Clearly
On the
lying.
low.
On the law, and you're announcing in front of 400 people.
400. You have 400
400
listeners.
listeners cumulatively.
Wow.
We're a big deal in the streets. Not per episode. Cumulatively.
You're giving me pressure
My
for
fans,
nothing.
Mescam Network, I want 400 of you.
But yeah, I see where these habits came from.
What else is there to talk about? Mona tuna blank. Do you have content?
Okay, so are we done with the last meeting?
Last meeting was fine. It was a hybrid meeting.
Yeah, okay, so Solo posted on his status. Okay, after the meeting was done, he said, wonderful journey, recommend it to all. I saw that status, and okay, it had your poster, the one that had our first ever.
The one I designed.
And I sort of felt so sad. It's like when we graduate, and then you leave all your friends behind. And then it's like so sad because it's so beautiful, as in the end of something.
But that's an achievement.
Yeah, it's an achievement, but now we won't be hearing solo speeches.
But what I remember is Jared said we are the best Gavel club globally. You heard that?
He did.
Yeah.
I did hear. I was on my phone.
You're on your
Sorry.
phone. The best Gavel club globally. You heard here first. That's a big deal.
That is a big deal.
Globally.
Globally.
It's
No,
just not
what?
Not in East
Well,
Africa.
I just assumed it's in Kenya. Globally. Wow.
Hey, so what are those people doing? Even if you are trying, I
But if
think
you consider, if you consider
Okay, it's the effort that we put into that meeting with all
the effort on the specific people in charge.
Yeah. Kina
Consider
Crispin
how-
Tinega.
Hey, shout out to Christine. Shout out to
Crispin, not Christine.
Christine. Hey, I've said Christine.
Yes.
Christian.
Woo!
What's in
Demon.
What's in China?
Understand? Crispin,
Yeah.
shout out to
Yeah.
Jeff for the projector, shout out to Jerome for the speech,
Shout out
Sylvia
to Anthony Miano, who was
Anthony-
given a very honorable mention
by our president.
For zero.
For zero, actually.
For zero. We did call it an
So
honorable
just
mention.
called handsome.
He was called handsome.
Yeah.
He
No,
can
but-
get
but-
there by being
but
handsome.
Jerome called him handsome, not the president.
But then he's Jerome's uncle.
Yeah. Now that's another.
Tunamaanika kwa podcast.
That's another interesting story.
A very long one. Jerome will say it when
He
comes.
actually had to do an actual diagram of the board to help. I don't know, people who just
Really, was
generally
it
don't
that
get-
complicated?
It's complicated.
Funny, you guys.
It's not complicated. Just people, if you realize, some people do actually need a few moments to
But
just
see,
generally
your
get
mom's
the
cousin
concept.
is your uncle. Basically. Because Jerome's someone is married to.
But this is the thing with
I
Kenyans,
like how
we
we
do
were
not
talking
on.
about our first visit. Now we're talking
Now we
about
are
people's cousins.
the family tree of someone.
Yeah, but people generally just have to understand the idea of first and second cousins, that whole space of people. Yeah, the whole space of people.
By the way.
But when you consider like things like the first speaker-thons and like
It
yesterday's
has
meeting
been
as well,
a year of us.
it's not just, I don't think he's saying that just out of flattery, but like the people who have been organizing our meetings in these last 2-3 months have done a fantastic job. And
Yeah, nowadays the halls are full.
the hall is always
Always full. Yeah, that is why is the money? They need to start paying the membership fee.
Maybe if I am.
Everyone is a member by
I
the
paid mine. I even have the
everyone.
what's that thing called? The tag. Yeah, why my tag proudly?
You
Who's
do,
pride?
you do. But on what Raphael did say,
About
part of it's an Ironman quote. Part of the journey is the end. It just gives more people a space to see the end of an era.
the
and
end
begin
gives
building on
meaning.
that.
Gives meaning.
It does
to the
give a lot
journey.
of meaning to that.
It's not a journey if you're not ending up somewhere.
It does challenge most people to get to where he is at. Because most new members in the club or guests who have been coming on to the show and wanting to join get to see
What
start
it's
and
like.
finish. They do get to see start and finish.
And future speeches or future role takers are going to be very lucky because now at least you have the facilities to record. Like Raphael, I think we can find your 61 somewhere. We have the ability to record. Record the actual speech. So if you go back and retrace see the steps, watch the speeches on the one, you can actually map the improvement.
Recording is important.
But generally, it should be a call to most people who not necessarily are in the club, but anyone also listening to the podcast. We probably would appreciate any technical support you could offer, because there are people who are great at actually recording most audio content. There are people generally good at recording all audio files. People who are probably a little bit more handier with a camera, or probably, what do you call this? These old technologies that used to take videos.
Audio visuals.
Yeah, people who are gurus in the audio visual space. Yeah, that would
it's a good space to
it's
exercise.
a good space to exercise that specific skill, because we do need the database, and probably might need somewhere to also practice your skill. Yeah.
And I also encourage people who are listening and are not part of the club to actually join the club.
Oh, it's an amazing
Join
amazing.
this master's club near you.
Anywhere near you, because in this era, I hate to sound old or anything. In this era, in this time that we live in, we are constantly finding ourselves in spaces where you have to speak in public. Have you noticed that? You're finding yourself in situations whereby you have to be called up to speak. And that is a test to your actual public speaking ability, your experience. Because leaders have to speak to people whether they like it or not at some point.
Yeah, and it also kind of makes you like stand out in a way.
And
The Superman of the group, when everyone is like, oh my god, we're going to be called out. Relax. I got you.
Yeah, by the way, public speaking does have its perks. And I don't know if any of you remember where your public speaking journey started. But for me, it started in class 7.
We discussed that in a very episode 1. Toastmasters in uni.
Huh?
In uni.
Yeah, in second year.
Oh, you had never spoken in front of a.
No, I had, but it was always something I don't want to do. Like it was because I had to, but not as in I'm trying to improve that aspect of myself.
Before then you hadn't actually started actively trying to improve.
Yeah, before then maybe you could call it public speaking when I'm called in front of the class to explain something, or maybe I just have to address a group of people and instruct them to do something, but I wouldn't really focus on how to deliver it in a good way so that they understand it or that they believe in what I'm saying. Yeah. Class 7.
Class 7. What are you doing in class 7?
Technically, I was a transfer student at my new school. Normally that would make a person
from abroad.
No.
A transfer student.
I mean, it's a fancy name because I'm not really how much.
Yes.
I was forcefully moved into boarding school, so yes, I was a new transfer student. But then again, I wasn't timid in that sense. I showed up. I showed up to the school with grades, and that got most of the administration to notice me in the school. They did want to know, why is there a new student outperforming our current students?
We can relate to that. Most of us, or some of us.
Can't relate.
So first year was a bit of a challenge, but not as such. Then I just addressed my class, and it got me a title inside my class. Class 7 got a little bit more heated, where they generally just began finding people to put in places. So those
places of what? Of power or authority?
Places of
leadership.
authority, leadership roles. I have never been in a situation where I have been elected by people to perform a role, to lead. I've been appointed by the administration most of the times. So class 7, I was appointed dining hall captain or something of that sort.
Wait a minute.
That's a bug.
I mean, in a class 7, what other situation would you have been in where people would vote for you to be something?
No,
Class
we did actually have
Class
elections in our
prefect
school.
was
No, we
voted.
did have elections in our school.
Primary.
We did have
844.
elections. Yes, we did have elections.
Eh?
There was a whole
Mashule.
week. There was a whole week of campaigns. Then after the campaigns, we delved right into the elections.
But
We
who
tallied
has-
the votes over the
Who
weekend.
has
They
the
announced
final
the winner
say?
on Monday.
Who has the final say? The students.
Well, generally, whoever wins the vote of popularity
Has won the
has
the
won.
room.
It's Kenya. I mean,
Do you-
election,
our
election.
high
Ameshinda,
school-
ameshinda.
Our high school was, you do campaigns,
Uh-huh.
you do rallies,
Uh-huh.
but it's the administration who,
The final say.
who
Yeah,
elects
high
the
school
final
got exactly.
appoints.
High school is basically like the United States government. They are the electorate. They are the college.
But me, I understand it to some point. If we go on that route of democratic elections, everyone has a vote. You end up electing politicians and not leaders.
That's the thing.
There's a difference between a politician and a leader. A politician enters there because of popular initiative.
Yes.
A leader enters there because he has the might, the ability, the training, and what else? The skills to actually lead.
I'm not going to lie. Most leaders out there aren't people who have gotten to where they are because
Of being good at
of
anything.
being popular or good to people. It's because they can do the job and give results. Then whoever is above that chain places them in a position where they can be able to do a lot more and give more results. That's generally the idea.
School
It's-
politics.
That's
Politics.
Kenyan politics.
No.
No, we're talking about leadership.
Leadership in where? Which leaders are describing?
When you talk about leadership, we're not talking about Jubilee or NASA. Let's be that. That's electoral
politics.
leaders. That's politics. No leadership.
Which leaders are you talking about?
I would mostly say people who run really big societies and corporations. People who run. I'm not gonna
Even
lie.
for example, our
People-
club, even our Toastmasters,
Yeah.
club, we have leaders and we have politicians.
Who are
Raphael, as a leader, as a leader, were you elected because of your skills or your popular initiative? According to your opinion, well, you
According to
elected
my opinion, honestly,
into the
honestly, it's because of the popular opinion.
popular initiative, not the.
Because I had not. Okay.
Who were
I
you
didn't
running
have-
against?
I was running against Dennis.
Dennis from
And he also
Alliance.
had nothing.
So who was the less nothing?
Almost nothing. So it was now down to popular opinion. Because okay, I'd never taken a role in Toastmasters or okay no.
You had
I had,
taken
but
roles.
Okay, I'd never taken like a VPM directed role.
Responsibility.
The only thing I could say is I can seduce people like
You're a seductor.
Seduction.
to join and
I've never had a dude saying it. They can say
I said, okay, a better one for that, convince.
persuade.
He's a great persuader. This
in this
womanizer.
case,
The good idea is if someone points a gun to your head, a lady, and tells you seduce me, what are you going to do?
You know, what you should say, let me tell you,
Man,
you should
boy.
tell her at that point.
I've tried to picture a man
No,
seducing.
because you're not my type.
No, you want to die too for
She
no
would-
reason. She has a gun to your head.
That's part of the seduction, actually. Revealing
Let's
my-
let the
No,
master.
okay.
Yeah, let's let the master.
They will explain further.
Okay, well, you better edit this one.
We have drifted.
They
We were talking about
will know. They shouldn't.
we were talking about your leadership.
Oh, okay.
So yours was not particularly tumefika nchi kwa sadaka.
particularly, he did not get.
Okay, no, I say like I had nothing to show for it. The only thing I could do was convince people that in the future I could do it, and
So
I
part
believe
of being a leader.
that up until now I have satisfied my
Yeah,
role
exactly.
to the fullest.
So part of being a leader,
Pending review.
popular initiative,
Pending review. Pending review.
pending review.
Pending
Popular,
review. Look at the halls. The halls are full. If they were empty, you know who
like
asked?
the
It's me. It's me should be coming after.
Where are the holes not full?
I'm working on that. But I've noticed there's just like maximum you'll get like two benches are empty in the hall, but 2 benches is
It's minimal, yeah.
The hope of developing their industries in those countries.
Which
Because
is countries
before
like,
then, if you looked at British companies, for example, that were manufacturing cars, look at the American companies that are manufacturing cars and stuff like that, you can't compare their progress then with the progress of countries like Russia or, in this case, Germany and Japan. Why? Their industries were literally obliterated during these periods.
and Russia
But
was
all that
was
significant investment.
You have to remember that Russia was under communist rule for very many years.
But like, if you look at it now, you can't compare, at least not military-wise, but with regards to civilian tech. With regards to civilian tech, generally, Japan, Korea, Germany.
Samsung is Korea.
Are where you get the point. Yeah.
So if you were colonized by Germany,
If you were colonized by Germany, how considering how history played out, at what point would you
but
say technologically?
we can't assume
here?
that the Germans were any better than the British.
I'm not saying
They are
that.
cut from the same cloth.
Countries
I
in the
get
middle
what
of
you're
this. Countries like Germany want let's just call them a hub of technological and industrial development at that point in time. They were doing what most scientists had not yet done. They were discovering things that were not yet written in any single book on earth.
It's called
But
the
you
freedom.
have to-
Advancement.
The freedom of
First
Thailand.
of all, you have to make a difference between German science and the German economy.
I'm not
Just because the
disputing
science
that.
was flourishing
I'm not
does not
disputing
mean
that.
the economy was.
Like what
and,
I'm saying
and about the science, after World War II, literally Hitler was the first person to literally destroy German science because of his beef with the Jews. The German
That's
Jews.
not a beef, that's a vendetta.
Okay.
6 million Jews.
His vendetta with the Jews. Scientists like Albert Einstein had to move away from Germany. Albert Einstein, who else? The guy who invented the Haber process.
Unajua tu Einstein.
Yeah, okay, so
Is equals to MC squared.
among others. So Hitler was actually derailing the science now, and in the long run, because eventually he lost the war, the German economy was shattered in the end.
But your time frame is colonization
let's not
or
call it- let's
colonialism
not call it-
happened
let's not necessarily
1880,
call it-
Siuku 1940 during
I don't know. Okay,
I'm
we were
saying,
talking-
I'm saying, like, you're talking about technological advancement, and I'm saying, if you look at that period of independence where now we get to inherit what we've left, how can we inherit from a power that does not have anything to give?
that took everything.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, we do
That's what I was saying. I'm not saying before that Germany was not technologically advanced. I'm saying by the time the World War has come and they've lost their colonies, even if we were colonized by them, at what point could you say, okay, they
We have
colonized
been
us,
better
but this is what we got
from
But this is the thing, when considering the splitting of Germany into East and West Berlin,
After the
they
Second
did
World
see
War.
a significant growth they did see significantly have a bolster to their
Have you
actual
watched
economy.
The Man
That's
from
the thing.
Uncle?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Man from
That's what I'm saying.
UNCLE?
I'm
But that's the
saying
thing.
here, not
Yeah,
there.
not here. But I don't believe some of that would have trickled down in terms of.
That's why I'm asking how, when they didn't have the colonies anymore. Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
They literally don't have
Now,
And remember, even after the First World War in 1918, Tanzania was under German rule. Up to 1918. After that, it was given to the
Theoretically
British.
speaking, if the Tanzanians gained their independence from the Germans, maybe we'd be able to say, okay,
There's a comparison.
You get what I'm saying?
But
Yeah.
there isn't at this point.
But at this
They didn't
point,
lose the
even
war
if
and
they were
didn't
that
lose
ahead,
their
they
resources.
lost. Because they lost their colonies. As a result, it's difficult to say that we'd have inherited the German technology when there's no technology to inherit. At least, maybe if they want
Actually,
to.
a significant evidence of that is there is no longer German evidence. Yeah, there is no longer evidence of Germans having
There's no
settled
German
in
speaking
Africa.
African country.
Yeah, there and
Kuna
there
Portuguese,
are
kuna Mozambique, kuna
some of the powers
French.
that did retain their hold on the countries do still
But see,
have.
Kenyans, the British have
I think
a whole.
literally speak English. We are speaking.
We're speaking English right now.
The rule of
Yeah,
this podcast is we should be speaking
In
English.
English, according to Queen who? Queen Elizabeth, Lilibel.
Elizabeth.
Yeah. And even if you think about it, because it's been documented that one of the things the British did was ban most of the records they could ban about their time here because of the concentration camps and whatnot.
The time in emergency, 1952
Yeah,
to 1952.
because it's been very well documented. Like, for example, Germans had the concentration camps of the Jews, but it hasn't been as documented, at least on mainstream media,
In
that
Kenya.
the British had concentration camps here as well.
You know, ugali is a
My
struggle
uncle
meal from
was-
concentration camps. They used to make ugali in camps like those ones.
You can
Makambi.
imagine, yeah.
So ugali is a struggle meal. Na tunakula tu ugali.
Even like the greens we eat now, again on the commercial side, not on the rural aspects.
They weren't food in the first place.
They're not
It was
indigenous.
consolation.
They're not indigenous to us. It was more like it's cheap, it's quick to prepare. So because of how long it was imposed on us, how we
became
got
a
used
thing.
to it, it just became a
Yes,
thing.
It became a thing. We adopted that
You
culture.
know, at the height of the British Empire, there were like 150 colonies in the British.
It was
From
huge.
Australia, South Africa,
Most
Kenya.
of
Some
their
islands.
colonies just ended up being part of the British Commonwealth.
Mm.
They actually did.
See, even now we are part of the
Yes,
British.
we're
They're still part of the British
we're still
Commonwealth.
part, yeah.
Yeah, we never stopped becoming a colony.
They said
we were just given prejudice. We were
The
just
sun
given,
never sets on the British Empire.
what's it called? What were we given? We were given.
We're given titles, but the real
Walipena title, walirudisha title. Walirudisha
but the
title.
real owners are
But
somewhere.
they still, their
in
name
that
is
small-
still on that list.
in that small island. But some champions of the British Empire, such as Winston Churchill, Margaret Thatcher, do you believe those people are evil? Are they evil or are they right for their time?
Who?
Winston
Depends on
Churchill.
how
It will always depend on where you look at it from.
Yeah. Okay.
Joe, he's an inspiring person. Have you heard the story? Have you heard the quotes from Winston Churchill?
I've had
Quotes,
I've
numerous
I've
quotes.
listened to a few quotes.
Very many books. He's an inspiring person.
One quote I know from Mr. Churchill. He said, okay, I don't know if I'll say it as good as he said.
We shall fight.
He was talking about the previous prime minister before him.
Before him.
The prime minister who actually let Hitler off the hook because they had a chance to stop Hitler in his tracks after he did some initial mistake, but then they decided to forgive him. But in a sense, Winston Churchill was attacking the
From 1918 or during the Second World War.
No,
Okay,
before this.
before the Second World
Like
War,
when he came
before the
to
invasion
power,
of
yeah.
Poland, it was
Yeah.
something he did. I don't know if it was
Against one of the treaties.
Yeah, against
Or
one of the
Versailles or
treaties.
something like that, yeah.
So now
Was it
I've
the
explained the
Poland?
pretext. I don't know if I'll remember the quote.
That's marking Poland as his own territory, as part of the Third Reich's territory.
I'm not sure which one it was. I can't remember. It's been a while.
World War II did
Have
kind
you
of.
watched Dunkirk?
It kind of began before 1941 and
Yeah.
with Hitler and
They were building
what is it
tensions.
called? It is still called. They are called Nazis, but Nazis is an abbreviation. It's an English abbreviation.
For the
The national,
national.
it's something I can't remember the exact German, but let's call it the. It was formerly
The Hitler Youth, or Hitler
no,
supporters.
They were like, you see, I'd like to compare it to this government under the next prime minister after Winston Churchill. He had an association of people who are workers.
It's Wilson. Is it Henry Wilson? Ever Google that?
I cannot remember. I'm not sure.
What did he do?
His party, the party was generally of workers. Workers.
Oh,
People who
Labour.
had- The Labour Party, yes, the Labour Party. Nazis is a form of a Labour Party in Germany, and that's why it gained popularity then. Because Hitler fancied the idea that true German workers would never ever cause the decline of the Third Reich, the Third Kingdom of Germany. It was called the Third Reich. He was of the opinion that the Jews who never favored Labour Party opinions, were the people who were causing the decline, the decline.
And the Jews were in a very tough situation, a very tricky situation in World War II Germany because they were somehow the upper class.
Yeah, they were.
They were not rich, but
They were
richer than the average.
Yeah, they were, and that's the thing. That's why the Labour Party was against the Jews, because they believe they turned their backs on them by not advocating for the return of coal mining jobs.
And the Jews are gaining more from the policy.
Yeah, they are. They did actually. Part of the bigger issues were coal mines, like what's it called, in the Ruhr Valley.
So it has been a working class issue from.
It has been a working class issue from the start. Hitler being a worker did feel like he was undermined.
It sounds a lot like the hustler narrative.
Hustler narrative.
It was a hustler narrative turned a little dark.
I was told that the wheelbarrow is for carrying money when you're going to buy bread. The wheelbarrow you're going to be given.
Yeah, it was. So it wasn't it wasn't the best time for. It wasn't necessarily the best time for German Jews.
German Jews.
Yeah. It wasn't exactly the best time for German Jews because the process was indiscriminate. What's the word?
Indiscriminate.
That one.
That
Very long one.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's the one.
So, meaning small issues like that have the. So this means that small issues, not small, but working class issues have the potential to cause very much damage.
Because of the sheer number.
The sheer number of deaths than any.
The sheer
6
number
million.
of people. The sheer number of people involved. Because the Labour Party at the time wasn't. You couldn't say it was. It had amassed a very large crowd. It had not. The Labour Party hadn't amassed that much of a crowd.
There were people
But there was something about Hitler is actually one of the best public speakers out there in the world. He had the power to command. He did have the power to command. Because the Labour Party did grow at an exponential rate when he started going for the events and started talking, the rallies. And there was a way he spoke that
Very
just
passionate.
called to the people. And that's how the Labour Party
Reminds
grew.
me of-
From people who weren't even directly touched,
So
affected by
public
this
speaking can be a tool for
Reminds
you.
me of.
It is. Public speaking is the single tool. Public speaking can start and end wars. It definitely can.
Even
That
Churchill
is the
is
power.
a very good speaker. You need to listen to his speech called "We Shall Not Surrender." How much called that? We shall fight. He was encouraging troops to actually go into war during the Second World War. Or the First, I don't remember.
It does actually.
There's a series of 3 speeches he made. One of the darkest hours when Britain was attacked by German troops.
You'd be surprised to learn some very dark secrets about British and German relationship.
Related very dark. Even
Very dark.
remember the one for
They are called the Marburg Files.
the brother to Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth's
Also,
family.
yeah.
The one who's supposed to be king.
Yeah.
He's actually a Nazi
That previous
sympathizer
Yeah, he is.
The
He's
one
an Nazi sympathizer.
who let go of the throne.
Yeah.
You are forced to the crown.
Yeah. He did abdicate.
Abdicate the crown, yeah, that's the word.
He did abdicate. He left the position to his younger brother, and that wasn't exactly
He
for no
abdicated the
reasons.
throne
He was forced to give up the throne.
because he loved.
One, because of his choice in partner,
Why?
but then again,
Gotcha.
no.
She's a commoner or a divorcee.
She was a divorcee and a commoner.
That's very rare. That cannot mix with such name.
Yeah, basically,
So he had
they didn't
to
excommunicate him, but they did bar him from entering Britain. He had a
Very
good
long
chance.
time.
He had a good
Exactly.
chance.
They say that the monarchy comes from God.
But then again, it's not like they've completely cut off their ties to Germany, because Prince Philip is still of German
German
ties.
blood.
He is still of German blood, and he is still from the Nazi regime.
And interestingly, Prince Philip was also a Greek monarch.
Yeah.
And Queen Victoria The one who's named after okay, like Victoria is
Was named after
She is named after Lake.
Lake Victoria.
Yeah,
No,
she,
no,
okay.
no.
There was a point she was called the mother of Europe because she had managed to marry off everyone who had daughters and sons to every monarch in Europe. So
Interestingly, because of that,
Probably.
the monarchs all throughout Europe had a genetic condition called leukemia or
No. The one. Is it hemophilia?
hemophilia. Perfect. So during the revolution in Russia during 1914 to 1918, right before the World War, the son to the Tsar,
Yeah.
the Tsar
Something like that. Yeah.
had hemophilia. And because of that hemophilia, they had to contract the services of one divine medicine man
As no
called
wait, Rasputin.
Rasputin. Hey, you're smart people. So Rasputin had a trick. He knew that aspirin causes the blood to become thinner. It's a blood thinner. So whenever the boy used to get attacks of hemophilia, he just tells the mother, keep the doctors away from him. Because he knows the doctor will give him aspirin for the pain, and aspirin will make
The thing was
blood thinner, makes it flow more. That's how Rasputin, a very commoner, if that's a word, rose to power in Russia. Because of the actions of one Queen Victoria, who married off her children to various monarchs.
Very, very serious inbreeding.
Inbreeding, very serious.
He was also a priest. Like, he was also
A priest.
somewhat, and also a very
drunk person.
a very notorious
Seducer.
So he'd like he'd pray for a woman, a married woman.
And in
then
exchange,
at some point, no, not in exchange, at some point would start making advances to her. Now when the woman asked, Razumihin, you're a priest, how could you possibly want me to do something like this? Razumihin would respond.
Rasputin.
Would respond. Salvation is only for sinners.
He believes that the more you sin, the more desirable you become to God because he wants to save you.
That's a smart man.
That's a smart man.
Sin more,
Very smart.
so that you can be dirty enough
Very
to
smart.
repent.
That's a smart man.
So
Why didn't I think of that?
God loves you when you are at your most
Hey, I'm
sinful.
joking. Mom, I'm joking, okay? I promise you.
Do you believe Africa had equal monarchs? Equal levels of monarchy?
I don't think
Equally as ruthless, as evil, and
I do
as
believe.
controlling.
What? Yes,
I do believe
Actually, there
Africa
was.
did have we did have the if
Classes.
there is a hierarchy to monarchs, we did have one of the greatest monarchs.
Which one was that?
Timbuktu.
The Timbuktu, the Malian.
I can remember Egyptians.
King, the richest man was called Mansa Musa.
Mansa Musa,
He
yes.
was the richest.
Mansa Musa.
He had an expedition that
He actually moved from where he was in Timbuktu to Egypt
To
on a
Egypt,
convoy
on a convoy
that
with gold.
stretched across the dunes. A convoy that stretched across the dunes.
with wealth
Carrying-
unimaginable.
Carrying salt, carrying gold, and carrying what do you call
Carrying
it? Spices.
women.
And also women, yes.
Women.
Women to be
He
treated.
did. He
And
actually
wealth.
made Egypt and Alexandria what it is today. Because people would gather around to see this man with his wealth coming, and then they would set up and listen to his stories, and he would give handouts.
And Sumanga, the amount of wealth was unimaginable.
He could not give and lack. He could give as much as he wanted and still have a lot more to give.
Even Kenya, we had kingdoms. You know that the Western Bantus are very notorious
He's quite literally the richest man on earth.
on earth ever.
There isn't a person.
Elon Musk right now.
No,
That's
Elon Musk
nothing
still
compared.
hasn't gotten to you. This is gold. This is gold. Consider gold in its value today. This is gold in its value today.
I concede.
What about Kenya? What did we have in Kenya? Did you have monarchs in Kenya? We had
The
the
jury in check, yeah?
Njonyake, it's a council of elders. for the Meru. We had the
What?
Ndonga Mumia was from the Paduka Kingdom or something. We had actual kings in Kenya.
More.
But
But then
most
again,
of us were
but then
chiefs
again,
because
our,
we-
nini, our form of the
government.
Kikuyu system was a little bit of a, what do you call it?
Matriarch.
A matriarch.
a matriarchal society.
Yes,
You're descended from nine ladies, from 9 beautiful
No,
women.
that's the clan. That's
The clan.
That's the clan. But like the chief, there was a point the chief was a woman. Okay, there was a point
She was called Mati. So God used to sit on men.
yeah.
You remember her? She was called.
But
How did that happen? That's actually extremely
There's a woman
rare.
chief.
That's actually an extremely
The
rare.
expression of kukaliwa kichapati, yeah?
used to literally sit on men. Her name was, where am I forgetting her? We need more lessons on this, Nini.
A woman was here.
She was sitting on men.
Yeah.
That's the power she
Mawia, I
had.
miss you.
We miss you, Mawia. Ona sasa tunaongelea. Ona sasa we're speaking about nani? Mekatilili wa men's.
But she was, but in a sense, we could also take the matriarch to be an appraisal of women in sorts. We could assess.
Bantu cultures are very matriarchal.
They are
To some
matriarchal.
point.
If you do take into account, the 9 clans are of women. They did have male counterparts, but those male counterparts are not really mentioned.
In Congo,
Yeah, in Congo.
there was I don't remember his name exactly, but there was a king in Congo who was literally selling his own people for money.
See, that's how slave trade happened.
Yeah, but you're willingly selling your own, as in you're selling them to be slaves, and you sell them so that you get money.
So that's why I was saying that, like, yes, there were monarchs, but also there was a class system. It's not like the class system in what we call Europe.
Because they were industrialized.
It wasn't
working class.
It's not like there wasn't a caste system here as well. So again, there was royalty. There were people who
Nobility.
are somewhat well off. There are people who are just commoners, and then there are the peasants and the slaves. And then because
I read
we didn't
somewhere.
just
I
have.
read somewhere.
We did have an actual system.
But the
It
people
wasn't
who
just
are well
Jama
off today, if
everywhere.
you're well off in Africa today, or if you are somewhat middle class or above middle class, that your ancestors were part of nobility. If you trace back
We're part of
the nobility, as in the privilege,
Yeah, the privilege.
falls back, as in
But
can
then
be traced
again-
back
but
to
then again-
nobility in the
Current-
pre-colonial systems.
Current African nobility. What true power do they actually have?
True power, it's ceremonial. It's like the monarchy in Britain.
No, but disregard people who are of actual nobility. People have bought their way into power more times than
More
we can
times than
discuss.
one.
We really can delve into that a lot. It's
But I
not
think
that in the
the
sense that
nobility is outdated.
nobility-
Leadership is not through blood. You can't be a king just because you're the firstborn son of someone.
Socrates
Said what?
Socrates discourages the idea that election should put a power.
Democracy is also
That's
has its
exactly-
failing points.
His argument is democracy, yes, but to some extent. In this sense, who would you rather trust to elect a leader for you? Scholars who have studied a subject and are more knowledgeable about certain things, or the random mass?
Random,
People who
the
can
average
influence-
voter.
The average person who can be influenced by the slightest of things. People who aren't as knowledgeable on certain issues, they can talk to you about how this person is going to be better for the economy,
Or how the economy
they
will
could be-
change under a
Yes.
specified person.
They cannot say about how this person may probably achieve certain things
But you
according
have
to
to
certain
remember,
figures.
that the elected leaders, the scholars, the informed people also, they have their driving
And
force.
that's exactly
They
the thing.
act on self-interest.
Socrates' version of democracy isn't what is today. There are two extreme ends. There's where you just allow the masses to go wild and elect a person to rule them.
And there's
And
another-
there's an extreme end where you allow only scholars to do this same exact job, same thing that happens in America. But there's a mid ground where you give everyone a chance to vote, but you also give them the resources to learn on what it is
Yeah,
voting
voting.
naturally
Voting
is,
naturally
what
is.
election is. civic education should be out there for everyone to know and learn and be able to consume and be informed about.
That knowledge is already there. Everyone, okay, it's not like it's a secret what you should be looking for in a good leader. It's just that people are lazy. They don't.
It's not even
They
about.
say the
It's not even about
availability of
looking
knowledge
what
is
you're
not
looking for.
the same as the consumption of it.
Exactly. Like people just don't care. They like tell someone read the Constitution. I mean, it's there.
Generally,
Can
just
we
look.
understand
Generally, just look at this.
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Okay, on the government thing, I'd say instead of abolishing democracy in general, okay, I don't know Socrates. I don't know if I understood Socrates' idea as well. But instead of abolishing democracy in general, I'd say it would be better if we don't get to just choose anyone. Leaders should go through some sort of institutional education that is compulsory, not
Specific
just
to
any,
leaders.
yeah, not just any degree, specific to leaders. They see how previous leaders have done and how they failed, and the ones who succeeded, what they did, and how to do it. Like a structure that, an institution that instructs leaders like that should be the only one authorized to produce leaders who we can vote for with the majority vote. I think we just
in a
just
way-
limit
in a
our
way-
options instead of allowing us to choose everyone with our abilities. It's better to limit our options. Okay, that's my.
But
that's
we
my
can risk, even if it's a final, we can't argue the final thought.
Yeah. Oh,
That's his point.
You can't argue with it.
You want me to argue?
Yeah.
That the risk involved with doing that is that we're going to create a specific class.
Okay, and
Of
the institution
leaders.
was free.
Free
like,
and fair.
Free, like primary education, just a free institution for like 2 years or so, or like 3. Okay, I don't know how long it will take.
Perfect.
But I'm just saying, okay, it's better than and 2
It's a
years.
good idea.
2 years will produce better leaders than the ones we have.
It doesn't have to be concrete as an
Yeah.
idea.
Yes.
It's just an idea.
TED, or you said
Yeah,
Gina-
China government on it.
Ted.
Yeah, China government.
government name again.
Yes.
Final remarks
Final
on
remarks.
anything you have said today.
I generally do not believe that being 18 is enough qualification to vote. So yes, we do need the civic education. We hopelessly need it. Hopelessly. But I honestly I am of that opinion. We generally need a lot
A
more,
lot more civic education.
a lot more education and information
relevant.
and active pursuance of such information and I don't know skills to be able to become more eligible to vote and at the same time more conscious of the choices that we make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wameyo, final thoughts.
We've talked about so many different things today, so it would be weird for me to say I have a final thought. All I can say is, my way, I may miss you. Come back. Come back. We need you.
We unachochwa sana.
Wameyo,
We have done it without you.
do you have a final thought? Me, I'm always thinking. So next week I'm going to give my final thoughts. What I can tell you for now is that I encourage you, I implore you, I beg you to go online and search us up on Instagram, Jkuat Gavel, on Twitter, Jkuat Gavel, and on maybe on Facebook. We are it on Facebook. And on YouTube, you can find us at the Jkuat Toastmasters Club. Asanteni sana and
Bye.
bye.
Bye guys.
Goodbye, goodbye, bye, 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 bye.